It's crazy how one can do a 180 after what happened from Homestead, Miami, compared to what happened at Las Vegas the other week. Welcome to episode 37 of the Louisiana Divebomb podcast, and what a fantastic weekend for Cup Series racing that is. The trucks I literally did not watch, so I will have no input other than that I have $600 riding on Grant Enfinger if he wins. I should have rephrased that better. If Grant Enfinger wins the championship, I win $600. Yeah, so there's that. But yeah, overall, just from what I've seen, the Xfinity and the Cup race, it's a crime that this track isn't the championship finale. I don't understand why we decided to move it from Homestead to Phoenix. Homestead, it's 10 times better. Like, no matter what. Like, even through the NextGen and previous cars beforehand, it's just been such a better race. Such a better overall product than Phoenix. I'll never understand it. Like, the Cup race, just phenomenal. Lights out. You got different strategies. You can run different lines. Like, I was really shocked to see how many people were able to work at the bottom end. That's kind of absurd. I would have thought that, okay, the outside lane is usually the lane you want to be in, and for some people it was, but for others it was the bottom and the middle, which I kind of was shocked. I didn't know why or how, but I didn't pay mind to it. I was just like, all right, this is just the way that Homestead is. This is how we're gonna do it. So very early on in the race, I wasn't home for this, but Kyle Larson cut a tire. He was running, I think, second or third, cut the tire, and then the yellow came out, and it just, why does this always seem to happen to Larson? He just always seems to have some sort of random issue, and then he's spending the rest of the race fighting his way back inside the top, not even top 10, top 20. It's difficult, and Larson voiced his displeasure about the next gen over the radio, basically complaining about how if you cut a tire, then your day is basically done, or how you can cut a tire, mess up the diffuser a little bit, and then you're having a fighting claw for everything for the entire race, which that shouldn't be the way it is, but it is because of the next gen. Also, there was an early incident that I did not see. Also, that Larson incident kind of gave me deja vu when I did see it. Think back to Kurt Busch in 2004 at Homestead when he had to come down pit road because he had a tire issue, and then right before he got into pit road, tire came off the car, ended up being a yellow for debris, and that was kind of the same thing with Larson, although his was just the tire carcass coming off. So it was on the apron of turn 4, which I don't understand why that was a yellow, but I'm not going to judge. So we had different strategy for different guys, but the main front runners, you had the 45 of Reddick up there, even though he wasn't leading. Then you had, well, actually, he did lead the most laps, but Chase Elliott, when I got home, was the dominant car. It was basically his race to lose, and he did lose it. Blaney was up there. He had some good runs. Yeah, so there's that. We've had different tire strategies, different fuel strategy, and just get to the end of it. So Tyler Reddick is running up front, but he needs a yellow to come out, otherwise he's going to be screwed. So he pits, he stays on the lead lap, and then literally a lap later, Kyle Larson's coming through the field. He's battling with Ryan Blaney for the win, and they catch up on Austin Dillon, lap car. About to be lap car, getting in the way. So I already knew what the 12 was going to try and do because he was giving too much of the outside to Larson. So he was just going to try and pinch him up on the 3, and then I think Larson moved a little bit too close to the 12, got him loose, and then Larson spun out. So that's essentially what happened, and that could not have come at a better time for Tyler Reddick than there, because he only had about, one lap, 2 laps on his tires. Everybody else came down pit road, and he was barely on the lead lap too. So that really worked out for the 45, and he ended up restarting as a leader, but then Denny Hamlin got by on the restart, and then Ryan Blaney got by, and then it's just those two swapping positions, and then Hamlin settles in. Then Ryan Blaney comes up with a massive run through 1 and 2 with 2 to go. They're duking it out. They're trading paint. The 12's in the lead. The 11's second. Tyler Reddick is third at the white flag lap. Now, that from the initial jump on the restart, I thought the 45 was screwed because he didn't go through turn 1 and 2 the way I thought he would. The 11 just flew right by, so I'm thinking, okay, well, his race is done. But then he claws back through. He gets around Denny for second, and then down the backstretch. Heading in the 3. I still don't understand why Ryan Blaney gave so much room on the outside, because Tyler Reddick, it's like he hit a boost or something. He just like he just powered up on that outside lane like he didn't even brake. I mean, that was absurd. He completes the pass, he gets the win, and Tyler Reddick's going to be chasing for a championship in Phoenix. Wow. I mean, I'm still shocked at that. I'm very shocked at that, but very deserving of Tyler Reddick. I mean, not only did he lead the most laps of the race, but he's been very consistent. One of the better cars of the season, just as a whole. If we look at I'm looking at his stats right now. Average finish is 12th. I mean, he was doing good right up until about the playoffs began. Like, past few weeks, he hasn't had a top 10 finish. At Watkins Glen, he finished 27th, finished 20th at Bristol, 25th at Kansas, 20th at Talladega, 11th at the Roval, 35th at Las Vegas after flipping at Las Vegas. So it's been a rough 6-week stretch for Reddick, but overall, he's been one of the better cars of the season. You got to go back to the summer turnaround, which really was Coke 600, where he finished 4th there, finished 4th at Gateway, 8th at Sonoma. Didn't have a good week at Iowa. He finished 22nd. And then just boom. 6th at Loudon, 3rd at Nashville, 2nd at Chicago, 6th at Pocono, 2nd at Indianapolis, 3rd at Richmond, and then won Michigan just before the regular season ended in Darlington. So, I mentioned this because he's been capable of winning races, but it's just something hasn't gone his way. I don't know what that is, but just something hadn't gone his way. Like, you look back, races he could have won, like Nashville. Nashville he could have won, but Joey Logano ended up stealing that. Chicago, he was close to doing so, but he hit the wall in the last lap and ruined his own run. Indianapolis, he finished 2nd. I mean, him and Larson had fresher tires, and the 5 just carved his way through the field better. Tyler Reddick could have had 6 wins on the season, but all in all, it doesn't matter now because he's locked into the championship 4. But, I mean, he's been up front very consistently throughout the year. So it's very rewarding to see this playoff format actually reward those who are good throughout the season. And if I look at it here, non-playoff standings, Reddick would be 34 points behind Christopher Bell for the points lead. So we still could have had a phenomenal points battle nonetheless without this playoff format. Actually, no, this is this is messed up then. I'll just scratch that. That's not even right. But overall, Tyler Reddick wins. He's going to Phoenix for a championship. Ryan Blaney on the outside looking in still. He finished 2nd, although he did lead a good bit of laps. Let me go ahead and actually look at where he's sitting at in the point standings, because a week ago he was a lap down, but he had to help his teammate Joey Logano secure a spot in the championship 4. Ryan Blaney's 38 points outside the top 4, outside the cutoff, so he needs to win to get in. Denny Hamlin, he had a good race, but he is still 18 points below the cut line after finishing 3rd. Christopher Bell finished 4th. He is plus 29 to the cutoff, so he's still not technically out of the woods yet. If he has a bad mechanical issue or bad finish at Martinsville, that could change things. Chase Elliott, probably, he was dominant in the first half, definitely, but second half he just wasn't there. 43 points below the cut line in 8th, so he is definitely must win next week at Martinsville. William Byron finished 6th. He is plus 7 to the cutoff line, so that's going to be really interesting to see where that shakes up. Highest non-playoff driver, Alex Bowman, finished 7th, although he should still be in the playoffs, but that doesn't matter. AJ Allmendinger 8th. It's his 3rd straight top 10 at Homestead. He finished 3rd and 5th in the 2 years prior, so was wondering when we would see the dinger, but towards the end of the race, he started to climb through. Hocevar top 10. Kind of thought about Hocevar being up there. He did win at the truck race last year, so there's that. Ryan Preece top 10. Could be his final top 10 in the Cup Series. You don't know. I still don't know what his plans are for 2025, but good finish for that 41. And then we'll look at the notables, the other notables in the field. Kyle Larson finished 13th after literally having to fight and claw his way through the field. And then that last yellow where he spun just ruined it. Then didn't get a good restart. And then he just fell back to 13th. Looking through. Noah Gragson finished 19th. I'll mention this about Noah Gragson. His odds heading into the week were very high, like plus 8,000 or so. But then his lap averages were, he had the fastest 10 lap, 15 lap, 20 lap, 25 lap, 30 lap average. He went from plus 8,000 to plus 2,000 to win. His odds were lowered dramatically for a top 5 or a top 10. He was minus money for a top 10. I don't even think he cracked it once. So, Noah Gragson 19th. Kind of shocking to see that. And looking through, the only other playoff driver outside the top 10, besides Larson, was Joey Logano. Go figure. He finished 28th. He had a terrible race, but that doesn't matter. He won last week at Las Vegas. He outsmarted the system. And you know what? Someone said this, and I want to double check this. Yeah, they were wrong. They said Joe Logano's led less than 100 laps this year. No, he's led 307 laps. But still, that's the lowest in his career since 2017. So there is that. So point standings, I already mentioned it for some. Reddick and Logano are locked in. Christopher Bell's plus 29 to the cutoff. Byron's plus 7 to the cutoff. Kyle Larson is minus 7 to the cutoff. So even after regular season title, all that, if you have a bad race, and Larson kind of had 2, your bubble's gone. So he's on the outside looking in, minus 7. Denny Hamlin's minus 18 on the outside looking in. Ryan Blaney's minus 38, and Chase Elliott's minus 43. So Blaney and Elliott are probably going to be in a must-win scenario, but that's good for Blaney because he won last year. And then he went on to win the title. Chase Elliott's run good here in the past. So we'll see. It should be an interesting Martinsville race nonetheless. Talk about Xfinity real quick. Don't have too much to say other than that really the only car that could run the bottom, the middle, and the outside was Austin Hill. Very shocking. Don't know why. Don't know how. But he locked in. He won the race, so he is locked into the next round of the playoffs. If I go ahead and find those results and those standings. Also, Ryan Sieg had a very solid race. I will say it's the same car, same mile and a half car that they took to Vegas and Texas. So as long as they keep that in one piece, and there's no more mile and a half races, so that shouldn't be an issue. But really hope Ryan Sieg gets better in the offseason. Like, just overall as a whole, as a program, and then for himself as well. But yeah, since Ryan Sieg switched from running the 39 to the 28 for team owner standings, he's been in very good spots. He's had very good finishes. Let me go ahead and double check where the Ryan Sieg machine. So he finished 7th at Homestead after running the 28. So since he's been in the 28, he's finished 17th, 2nd, and 7th. Very good for that team. But Austin Hill got the job done. He led the most laps. Shocker. Cole Custer finished 2nd. I thought Cole Custer was going to win, but he lost that on the last bit. Almirola finished 3rd. Jesse Love 4th, so of course the other RCR car is fast. Sheldon Creed finished 5th. Riley Herbst 6th. Ryan Sieg 7th. Allgaier 8th. Sam Mayer 9th. Allmendinger 10th. Other notables, Chandler Smith finished 13th. He had a top 5 run going, and then he faded off after stage 1 and then just didn't recover after that. Sammy Smith 22nd, and that's it for the playoff drivers and where they finished. We only had a couple of yellows, long green flag runs. Last stint was 73 laps, so yeah, there's that. But the Xfinity race was still good. Go ahead and look at the Xfinity points. So Allmendinger and Austin Hill are locked in via wins, so there's that. Allgaier's plus 35 to the cutoff. Cole Custer's plus 28. Chandler Smith is on the first one on the outside looking in, minus 28. Jesse Love, minus 35. Sam Mayer, minus 47. Sammy Smith, minus 95, even after winning at Talladega. So, and I know that was in the round before, but still, you would have thought that that win would give a little boost of confidence to the A team and the driver, but clearly that's not the case. Also, Chandler Smith made a comment after the race about not having a ride for next year yet, and probably working for his dad's construction company. Now, I know it's like a multi-million-dollar thing because that's kind of how he got his foot in the door with sponsorships and whatnot, but still, he's proven that he can run up front. He can win races. I just don't understand because JGR's lineup for next year is already locked. Was it Brandon Jones, William Sawalich? There's one more. There's one more driver. JGR 2024, 2025 lineup. Taylor Gray. So it's Brandon Jones, Taylor Gray, and William Sawalich. And then presumably the fourth car is going to be a mix of drivers like it's been for the last few years or so. But it's a shame. Really is. Chandler Smith, almost all season long, he's been the championship favorite. And to be on the outside looking in, heading into a short track, which he runs well at the short track, so he's got that going for him. But still, kind of damning. He's got 2 wins, 15 top 5s, 20 top 10s on the year. Led 630 laps. That's absurd. He's got good numbers, but he's finished almost half of his races inside the top 5. I don't understand what we're doing wrong as a society to where we reward those that have bigger paychecks that can barely drive and those that can actually drive but don't have the paycheck to do so. Same with Sheldon Creed, but Sheldon Creed's got a ride next year. That's why I don't really feel bad about that. Sheldon Creed proven that he can run up front. He don't even got a win to his name. He's just got a bunch of second place finishes and top 5s and top 10s and whatnot. So there's that. But Chandler Smith finished 3rd at Martinsville. He's going to need to win to lock himself into the championship 4. And there's just a lot going on there. Truck race happened. Don't really have much to say about the truck race, like I said, because I wasn't home for it. I was working during the truck race, but every time I looked at my phone, I saw that Corey Heim was leading. Okay, Corey Heim's going to win. Cool. And then I opened my phone, and then Grant Enfinger won. Saw that Grant Enfinger won. I was like, huh? Well, how did this happen? How did this happen? He didn't even lead the most laps. Corey Heim led 68 laps. Lane Riggs led 27, but his finishing results don't say that. Grant Enfinger led 32, and I think they were the last 32, were they not? No. He led the last 22 laps, but saw the margin of victory was 17 seconds, over half a lap. Damn. So Grant Enfinger, like I mentioned, he's already locked into the championship 4. That was the best thing that Ty Majeski could see. Yeah, so Corey Heim plus 49, he should be good. Christian Eckes plus 38, should be good. Ty Majeski plus 22. If a new playoff driver would have won, like say, I don't know, Carruth, Gray, Ankrum, Sanchez, the only other 4, Majeski would have been on the outside looking in, but that's not the case. Instead, Rajah's on the outside looking in, minus 22. Taylor Gray, minus 24. Tyler Anker, minus 41. And Nick Sanchez, minus 43. Should be a fun race at Martinsville for all 3 series as they all crunch from 8 championship contenders to 4 and then settle it out in Phoenix to crown a new champion for the trucks, the Xfinity, and the Cup Series. So, should be fun there. Had a good week of betting. I had a couple of my Cup bets, which that being Tyler Reddick top 5 and Christopher Bell top 5. Also, NFL was a huge hit for me. Sunday was National Tight Ends Day, so I parlayed 4 tight ends to score a touchdown, and they all did. George Kittle was the last leg. $10, free $10 bet to win $600. So that was so satisfying. It's going to be so good to see that check come through. So that's that for episode 37 of the Louisiana Divebomb podcast, and I will catch you guys after Martinsville.